Welcome back to my channel. The Brown family doesn't want you to hear this, but today, we're tearing the lid off a story so massive, so earth-shattering, it could burn the last remnants of the Coyote Pass dream to the ground. We're not talking about another wife leaving. We're not talking about a tell-all book. No, this is a legal bombshell aimed straight at the heart of Cody Brown's so-called patriarchy. It all begins with Cody himself. On camera, he shrugs off his own daughter, Savannah. He can't remember her age. He dismisses their relationship. He admits he doesn't call, doesn't visit, isn't there. And yet he calls himself her father. But in a Flagstaff courtroom, Janelle Brown arrived armed with 18 years of receipts and a mother's unshakable fury. She asked one simple, devastating question. Did he ever actually pay for that, right? Before we dive into the explosive court documents our sources risked everything to get, do me a favor. If you believe it's time the Brown family faces accountability, hit that like button right now. And if you want every shocking update on this story, make sure you're subscribed and that notification bell is on. You will not want to miss a single second. The lawsuit, filed as Janelle Brown versus Cody Brown and Robin Brown under case number CV20238845 in Coconino County Superior Court, is not your average filing. And yes, Robin's name being there? Not an accident. We'll get to that. At the heart of this case, retroactive child support for Savannah for the full 18 years. But this isn't just about money. Janelle's team built their case on Cody's own admissions from the show, proving a shocking link. His emotional and physical neglect directly caused financial neglect. In this family, the law may now see what fans have long suspected. If you act like a stranger to your child, you forfeit the privileges of parenthood. In legal terms, you become a deadbeat dad. Sources tell us the documents reveal two completely separate worlds, both supposedly funded from the same family pot. Cody long claimed all the money was shared, that he, as patriarch, distributed it fairly. But Janelle's lawsuit rips that shield to shreds, exposing a personal slush fund, Cody and Robin's secret vault, while Janelle and Savannah were left to fend for themselves. Let's look at Exhibit A, Cody and Robin's Kingdom. The filings reveal a pattern so extravagant, so focused on one branch of the family, it borders on the surreal. Thousands of dollars flowed to Robin, Dayton, Aurora, Brianna, Solomon, and Ariella. The lawsuit reportedly includes bills of sale for new cars for Dayton and Aurora, not 10-year-old beaters, but fully loaded vehicles, paid from the family account. Meanwhile, Savannah's car? Paid entirely by Janelle from her personal account, funded from her own income and show payments. It doesn't stop there. The lawsuit details endless spending on Robin's kids, tutoring, expensive extracurriculars, the newest tech, clothing budgets that would make your jaw drop. Credit card statements show almost everything purchased from luxury stores and shipped directly to Robin's address. Victoria's Secret shopping sprees, fine jewelry gifts, constant wardrobe updates, all on the family dime. Meanwhile, Janelle bought Savannah's clothes from Target and Old Navy. College tuition? Rent for adult children? Paid for Robin's kids, but not Janelle's. Her sons Gabe and Garrison were forced to support themselves, even paying rent to their own father during his extreme CO protocols. The hypocrisy is staggering. Cody's world. Some children are worthy of investment, others are burdens. Now, Exhibit B, Janelle's independent nation. This is a story of resilience, sacrifice, and quiet heroism. Janelle carried the primary financial responsibility for Savannah: school fees, lunches, field trips, groceries, braces, doctor visits, hobbies, teen wants, all from her own pocket, while watching family funds pour into Robin's lavish lifestyle. The most striking symbol? The RV. On the show, it looked like a quirky adventure. In reality, the lawsuit reframes it as financial necessity born from exclusion. Janelle's resources were drained by Robin's mansion and luxury life. She couldn't afford a rental home in Flagstaff, so she lived in a trailer, a literal symbol of her second-class status. While just miles away, Robin's family enjoyed climate-controlled luxury funded by the very family pot Janelle contributed to, but from which she was excluded. The lawsuit meticulously documents every dollar Janelle spent: internet for homework, propane for heat, vet bills for the dogs. Every mundane expense of parenthood, borne by Janelle alone. Janelle's lawyers argue this isn't a plural family. It's a financial arrangement where one woman and her children are treated as a lucrative but neglected subsidiary of Cody and Robin Inc. Meanwhile, Janelle bought Savannah's clothes from Target and Old Navy. College tuition? Rent for adult children? Paid for Robin's kids, but not Janelle's. Her sons Gabe and Garrison were forced to support themselves, even paying rent to their own father during his extreme CO protocols. The hypocrisy is staggering. Cody's world. Some children are worthy of investment, others are burdens. Now, Exhibit B. Janelle's independent nation. This is a story of resilience, sacrifice, and quiet heroism. Janelle carried the primary financial responsibility for Savannah: school fees, lunches, field trips, groceries, braces, doctor visits, hobbies, teen wants, all from her own pocket, while watching family funds pour into Robin's lavish lifestyle. The most striking symbol? The RV. On the show, it looked like a quirky adventure. In reality, the lawsuit reframes it as financial necessity born from exclusion. Janelle's resources were drained by Robin's mansion and luxury life. She couldn't afford a rental home in Flagstaff, so she lived in a trailer, a literal symbol of her second-class status. While just miles away, Robin's family enjoyed climate-controlled luxury funded by the very family pot Janelle contributed to, but from which she was excluded. The lawsuit meticulously documents every dollar Janelle spent: internet for homework, propane for heat, vet bills for the dogs. Every mundane expense of parenthood, borne by Janelle alone. Janelle's lawyers argue this isn't a plural family. It's a financial arrangement where one woman and her children are treated as a lucrative but neglected subsidiary of Cody and Robin Inc. The inclusion of Robin as a co-defendant in Janelle's lawsuit is nothing short of a legal masterstroke. This isn't just about Cody failing as a father. It's about making Robin legally and financially accountable for her role in the system that neglected Savannah. The lawsuit alleges Robin was not a passive bystander, but an active participant and enabler. She knowingly accepted a disproportionate share of the family's resources, fully aware that it came at the expense of the other wives and their children. By naming her, Janelle's lawyers strip away the innocent fourth wife persona and position Robin as a co-conspirator in Savannah's financial neglect. This move ensures that any judgment hits their shared assets: the house, savings, and land purchased with funds unequally distributed by Cody. Robin can't hide behind Cody anymore. She is now legally responsible for the fallout. The core principle here is unjust enrichment. Janelle's lawyers argue Cody and Robin profited from money that should have gone to Savannah. They took Janelle's contributions, her earnings, sacrifices, and time, and used them to enrich themselves and Robin's children, while Janelle had to pay twice, once into the family pot and again from her own pocket to raise her daughter. This isn't just a lawsuit for child support, it's 18 years of accounting for the cost of neglect. Janelle is presenting the ultimate receipt to Cody and Robin. You owe me. Every document tells a story. A lavish birthday party for Solomon contrasted with a home-baked cake for Savannah. A family vacation funded for Cody, Robin, and their children, leaving Janelle and Savannah behind. The paper trail turns years of emotional neglect into hard, undeniable evidence. Cody tried to gaslight both Janelle and viewers, claiming all was fair, that the family pot served everyone equally. But numbers don't lie, spreadsheets don't cry. Bank transfers don't feel guilt. And this evidence leads to one inescapable truth. Cody abandoned Savannah financially long before he admitted to abandoning her emotionally on TV. Initial reactions from Cody's camp? Pure chaos. Sources describe the mansion in turmoil. Cody reportedly blindsided, expecting Janelle to quietly accept scraps. He underestimated her. He mistook patience for weakness and pragmatism for passivity. But Janelle's logic and her mountain of evidence led her to the most devastating move imaginable: suing him for everything he owes. Robin's reaction, our sources claim, was even more dramatic. Instant tears, a narrative of victimhood. How could Janelle do this to us? To the family? She frames herself as the wronged party, attempting to paint Janelle's fight for her child as cruelty and vindictiveness. But the legal system doesn't care about crocodile tears, it cares about evidence. And Janelle has it in abundance. The stage is set for a landmark moment in the SisterWives universe. Cody's defense will lean on outdated patriarchal notions and claim the family was one financial unit under his control. He'll argue the money spent on Robin's home and Coyote Pass was for everyone. But Janelle's lawsuit cuts through that fog. It focuses on one child, Savannah, and asks the simplest, most devastating question. Where was her share? Where was the investment in her life, her well-being, her future? This case puts the very concept of the Brown family on trial. Was it ever a true plural family, or for the past decade, a functional monogamous marriage with 3 financially and emotionally exploited appendages? Janelle's lawsuit argues the latter. The family was already divided long before wives started leaving. One household thrived, while others merely survived. Some children received every advantage, while others faced their father's indifference. This is more than money. It's historical record. Janelle is rewriting the story to prove she was never a willing participant in a communal family. She was the backbone of a system that systematically neglected her own child, and now she's done paying the price. The legal proceedings escalated quickly, from shocking filing to tense courtroom drama. The courtroom itself reflected the family's fractured state. On one side, Janelle, calm and determined, surrounded by binders overflowing with financial evidence. On the other, Cody, flustered and resentful, and Robin, performing her role as the wronged party, tears in hand. The stage is set. Every receipt, spreadsheet, and bank statement is ready to dismantle the Brown family myth, piece by piece. And this brings us to Cody's defense. As the hearing began, Cody's legal team laid out their defense, a mix of patriarchal delusion and clever legal spin. Their case rested on 3 pillars, each more out of touch than the last. The first pillar, patriarchal discretion. Cody's lawyers claimed the Browns ran as a patriarchal religious family, where Cody, as head of the household, had the right to decide how the money was spent. Cody took the stand and said it wasn't favoritism, it was strategic investment. The huge home he shared with Robin, he said, was necessary for the family's future. He argued that Robin's children lived with him full-time, so naturally they needed more financial support. In his voice, a mix of pride and self-importance, he compared himself to a CEO. I'm building a legacy on Coyote Pass. That's where the real money went. But Janelle's lawyer was ready. Cross-examination was relentless. Mr. Brown, what is a legacy? He asked. A barren plot of land with unpaid utilities, or a well-supported child who feels loved? Exhibit after exhibit showed Cody's spending didn't match his legacy argument. Victoria's Secret receipts, holiday decor for Robin's house, luxury vacations, while Savannah lived in a trailer. With every question, Cody's first pillar crumbled, revealing it for what it was, a cover for self-serving choices. The second pillar, the family pot. Cody's team argued the shared account was real, with him responsibly paying the mortgages, taxes, and Coyote Pass expenses. But Janelle's forensic accountant exposed the truth. Charts showed that after the basics were paid, over 80% of discretionary income flowed to Robin's household. Janelle's household got barely 5%. The family pot was real, the accountant said, but almost all of it went straight to Robin's front door. The courtroom gasped. The third pillar, emotional absence, doesn't matter. Cody claimed that financial support alone proved his love for Savannah, even if he wasn't physically present. But Janelle's lawyer struck back. He showed receipts proving Janelle paid for Savannah's car, clothes, and school supplies herself. Cody admitted it. The lawyer pressed, is sending money to one wife, while another child goes without your idea of providing? Is this a father's duty? Cody had no answer. The courtroom fell silent. Cody's defense, built on ego and selective storytelling, had been torn apart. The law, finally, was on Savannah's side. For Janelle, This was the moment of justice she'd fought for her entire life. For Cody and Robin, the carefully constructed world of privilege they'd built was about to collapse. The verdict would do more than assign money. It would confirm the truth everyone watching had long suspected. The Brown family's lies had finally caught up with them. The day of the verdict, the courtroom in Coconino County was thick with silence. This was the moment of truth. The judge, known for her no-nonsense style, peered over her glasses at Janelle, then at the tense Cody and Robin. Her voice cut through the tension like a scalpel. "I have reviewed the financial records, heard the testimony, and considered all arguments," she began. "The defense claims that family finances were part of a private religious agreement, giving Mr. Brown full discretion. But this court is not a religious body. It is a court of law. Savannah Brown is a legal child, entitled to support from both parents." She paused, letting her words sink in. The so-called family pot is a fiction used to justify an unfair distribution of resources. While the income was pooled, the outflow favored one household at the expense of another. Luxury goods, vehicles, extracurriculars. These purchases show not a family working together, but a marriage thriving off the contributions of others. Turning to Cody, she was relentless. "Your emotional absence is inseparable from your financial neglect. Outsourcing both responsibilities to Ms. Janelle Brown does not absolve you. A father who is absent in his child's life cannot claim the benefits of marriage while failing the most basic parental duties." Robin flinched as the judge continued. "This court rejects the idea that extravagant spending on one household is strategic for a family legacy. This is favoritism. Financial neglect in its purest form." Then came the blow. The court finds in favor of the plaintiff, Janelle Brown. Cody Brown and Robin Brown are ordered to pay $372,450. 18. Payment is due within 90 days. If unpaid, Ms. Brown may place liens on assets, including Robin's $1 million home and shared land at Coyote Pass. The courtroom erupted in tension. Cody's face went pale. Robin's sobs filled the room. For years, their lifestyle had been funded by taking from Janelle's children, and now, the bill had come due. For Janelle, it was validation. 8 years of silently providing for her daughter, ignored and gaslit by the family and the cameras, were now recognized by the law. Christine celebrated the victory, while Mary contemplated her own history of financial contributions. The verdict sent shockwaves through the Brown family. Cody and Robin returned home in chaos. Anger, blame, and panic filled the mansion. "You gave them the ammunition," Cody reportedly shouted at Robin, blaming her spending for their downfall. Robin, in tears, defended herself, claiming loyalty and love for her family. Neither acknowledged the truth. Savannah had been neglected, and the law had spoken. Coyote Pass, the family dream, became the first casualty. Parcels of land were sold at a loss to cover part of the debt. The mansion, Robin's fortress, faced a potential lien. The couple had no choice but to use a home equity line of credit, and every step was a humiliating surrender. Meanwhile, Janelle's children celebrated quietly, finally seeing justice for years of neglect. Savannah, though grateful, remained uncomfortable with the public exposure. For Robin's children, the narrative was filtered through her lens, but cracks were starting to appear, especially with Aurora, who could see the disparity firsthand.